Once upon a time, there lived a very wealthy man named Perema. He was a well-respected merchant, an oil mogul, a man of great means. He was married to Abi. They were a very happy couple. They had all the good things life had to offer. Perema had fleets of cars and several mansions scattered all over the rich neighborhood of Lagos. As if they were not already blessed enough, Abi soon found herself with pregnancy. When she broke the news of her pregnancy to Perema, he was filled with great joy. He could not contain the joy that soon he would be a father. But well, this was when things started falling apart pretty quickly. You see, Abe's pregnancy was developing smoothly, with no complication. He took her to the very best hospital he could access for prenatal care, and all was fine, up until Perema made a terrible mistake. He decided to throw a baby shower party at his residence. By this time, Abi was almost due for delivery, but Perema just could not contain his joy. He invited his friend, family and business colleague to come celebrate the impending arrival of their baby. One of the people also invited for this party was Essie. She was Abi's childhood friend. Abi was very fond of her and always invited Essie over to their place, where they will gossip, laugh and gist. Even though Abi was married to a very wealthy man, she was not arrogant. She still remembered the days of her little beginning, as she and Essie will run and play in rain as little kids and steal fruits from their neighbor's orange tree. They still remember this sweet childhood memory and laugh heartily at their mischievousness. Because of Abi's relationship with Essie, she influenced her husband to award several contracts to her from his numerous businesses. The proceeds from this contract fetched Essie a huge sum of money, which enabled her to live a very comfortable life in Lagos, even as a spinster. But Essie was not happy. Even though she was living a very comfortable life, all thanks to Abi, her best friend, she was unhappy and envious of Abi. She wished she was in Abi's position. She wished she was the one married to Perema and was in charge of his vast business empire. And when Abi broke the news of her pregnancy to her, she was very sad. Even though she celebrated with her best friend outwardly, inwardly, she was boiling with resentment and anger. Why is she jumping up and down in joy? Is she the first person to get pregnant? What did Perema even see in this one that made him marry herself when there are very beautiful ladies like me dying to get married to him? She fumed to herself. And that was when a dark idea crept into her heart, a thought that would send shiver down the spine of even the most hardened criminal. How about I unalive Abi along with her unborn child so I can become Parama's new wife and enjoy everything Abi is enjoying? She thought to herself. As dark as this idea was, Eze saw nothing wrong in unaliving her best friend. And so, for days, she racked her brain on the best way to eliminate her best friend without raising eyebrows. But she just don't know how to execute her devilish plans, which made her even more frustrated. But then, when Abi told her about the baby shower party her husband was organizing for her, a very dark idea crept into her mind. So that evening, with a smile across her face, she took her bath, wore her clothes, got into her car, and drove into the gathering dusk. She soon parked her car at the entrance of a lonely footpath that led into a quiet forest at the outskirts of the city. She was going to the shrine of a native doctor. Even though the road to the sorcerer's shrine was quiet and creepy, she cast all her fears aside, a dark desire at wearing her fears, and soon she was at the native doctor's shrine. There she requested for a sham to unalive Abi. The native doctor smiled. He danced into the inner chambers and soon returned with a black soap.
Let her bathe with this. The more she uses it, the faster you will succeed.
He told her, handing the soap to her. Essie's heart was overfilled with joy. She thanked the sorcerer vehemently and left his presence. Meanwhile, the preparation for the baby shower was ongoing, and Essie obviously was at the aim of all this preparation. Little did Abby know that disaster was just around the corner. Soon the day for the baby shower reached, and friends and well-wishers all came to present gifts before Abby to celebrate with her and congratulate her. Amidst drinking and eating, one of the people who also came with gifts obviously was Essie. She presented the soap to her in a very fine package. Take, my friend. I passed through great trouble to buy you this soap. Make sure you use it and watch how your skin will be glowing. You will definitely thank me later, she told her. Abby was very happy. She accepted the gift from her best friend, not knowing that she was a green snake under the green grass. That evening, Abby decided to use the black soap her best friend gifted her, but then something was holding her back. She was very uncomfortable, but she just could not understand what was off. If she knew, she would have threw the soap away, but well, she was not aware of the grave danger she was in. After taking a bath with this black soap, she retired to her bed and slept off that night. But the next morning, she would wake up to a great horror. She was stained in blood and was in great pains. Perema was terrified. He just could not watch his beloved wife agonize in pain. He immediately swung into action and took her to the hospital where the doctor admitted her and gave her some medication, and after some days she was fine and was discharged. She just don't understand what was happening, but well, this was just the start of her trouble because she would be rushed to the hospital one more time, this time never to return. You see, that evening, Abby ignorantly used the black soap one more time, and the next morning, she woke up with the same sharp pains and blood. This time around, she started experiencing forced labor due to the pains in her tummy. Perema rushed his wife to the hospital one more time. He was crying profusely, wondering where he had gone wrong. For 2 days, Abby was in labor. The doctors fought hard to save her and the baby, but unfortunately, Abby could not make it. She passed on during childbirth, but fortunately, the baby survived. She had given birth to a boy. When this news was broken to Parama, he broke down in tears. He just could not accept the passing of his wife. Meanwhile, Parama was not alone in the hospital. Essie, Abby's best friend, was there all this while, and she too broke down in tears, crying uncontrollably and refusing to be comforted. "Oh, death, you are too mean. You are wicked. How can you take my sister from me?" she lamented. The people around her consoled her, not knowing she was the actual person behind this predicament. And so, with tears in their eyes and with a sorrowful heart, they took the newborn baby back home. Prema was devastated because of the loss of his wife, and the following day, Abby was brought back to her people for the necessary burial rites. Amidst much wailing, the days that followed saw an inflow of people to Perema residents. Family, friends, and colleagues all came to pay their condolence to him. Essie also came. She cried bitterly, rolling on the ground and wailing loudly. The people felt sorry for her, not knowing she was just doing all this to cover up her tracks. Anyway, by and by, everyone left for their respective homes. But Essie did not go back to her place, but rather she stayed back. There she cooked for Perema and took care of the newborn baby. Perema was grateful for her support during these dark moments, not knowing she was the cause of his troubles. Soon, Perema would start to notice something very strange about the newborn child. His little legs had no life. Upon closer observation, he discovered he was born a cripple. This made Perema very sad and upset. He saw the child as a curse. This child is the cause of my trouble. He is the reason I lost my wife, he thought to himself, and he named him Seiye, meaning bad omen. But what he did not know was that the child predicament was caused by the complication during Abby's pregnancy, an evil which was caused by Essie. And the months soon rolled by, and Essie was spending most of her time at Perema's place, taking very good care of his household, even though Perema loved his wife when she was alive. He just could not help but notice the beauty of Essie, her captivating smile, her soft, encouraging words, and her curves. She was a very beautiful young lady, and he started falling gradually in love with her. And soon the mourning period of Perema was over, and he called Essie one evening.
Essie, there is something I want to tell you. Please don't decline my request.
He told her. Essie was silent, wondering where this conversation was heading.
You see, I've been watching you closely all these years, and most especially these few months following the demise of my wife. I see how you took care of my household and my only son without complaints, despite his condition. I want you to be my wife.
He told her, hitting the nail on the head. Essie was taken aback. What a pleasant surprise. She never saw this coming. She never thought it would be this easy for her to win the heart of Perema, her late friend husband. Anyway, she quickly covered up her excitement and put up a moody face. After a long silence, she finally replied him, I would love to marry you so I can take very good care of my late friend's only child and also help you forget your sorrow. But if I marry you, I'm afraid of what the people would say, she said, looking at him so fully. After a brief silence, Prema replied her,
People would always talk. Let them say what they like. After a few weeks, they will be tired of gossiping about us and look for other juicy news to gossip about. Anyway, sleep over my proposal and let me know your decision.
he told her. Even though Essie did not show any form of happiness in Perema's presence, but deep down in her heart, she was overfilled with great joy. Hey, before we jump right back into our story, today massive hug goes to Miss Joyce, watching from the USA. Thanks so much for your continuous support. Where are you watching us from? Type it in the comment section so we can send you a hug in our next episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Anita Chocolate. Alright, back to our story. Even though Essie did not show any form of happiness in Perema's presence, but deep down in her heart, She was overfilled with great joy. She never knew she could get Prema at a platter of gold. So the next day, when Prema asked her if she had made up her mind, she obviously consented to his request, much to the great joy of Prema, not knowing his life was about to turn upside down. And soon, Prema and Essie got married, and for some time, all went well. Prema was happy. Essie was taking very good care of him and his disabled child, who was around 3 years by this time. But what he did not know was that Essie was not whom she was pretending to be. Whenever he was out for work attending to his many businesses, Essie would maltreat the child. She would leave him crying and starving for hours. But once she suspected her husband was coming home, she would immediately bathe the child, dress him up neatly and give him food to eat so her husband would not notice her maltreatment. But with time, Prema could not help but notice something strange about his child. The child was looking emaciated and hungry, so Prema called her one evening.
Sweetheart, I don't understand how Seiye, our child, is looking. Is he sick? He is looking very lean. What could be the matter with him?
He queried. Essie was taken aback. She never saw this coming, but quickly covering up her fears, she quickly replied him, "Nothing is wrong with him, honey. He is growing up fast, hence he is more likely to lose some weight," she told him. Even though something was not adding up, he believed his wife. He just could not see through Essie's lies. By and by, Essie got pregnant, much to the joy of Prema and everyone, and she soon gave birth to a bouncy baby boy. Prema was overfilled with great joy. Now he had a normal child to his name. He threw a big party to welcome his baby into the family. By this time, Seiye was a young toddler, moving around the home with wheelchair because of his condition. Prema saw the child as a stain to his status. He did not let him attend a public school like most of his mates, and contemplated paying a good teacher to homeschool him rather. But when Essie learnt of this, she immediately kicked against it. "Sweetheart, what is the essence of paying a teacher to homeschool Seiye? What about the gossip about it outside and tarnish your image? Let me be his teacher rather," she volunteered. Well, Prema saw some sense in what Essie told him. Suspecting nothing, he allowed her homeschool him. And with the arrival of a healthy child, Prema's attention to Seiye diminished greatly. In short, he hid him away whenever he had guests. He saw him as an embarrassment. And soon enough, Essie got pregnant and gave birth to a set of twins, very handsome sons. Prema could not contain his joy. What more can he ask for? He had great wealth beyond measure and had also been blessed with 3 healthy sons, and he named them Pere, Ebike, and Demowe. Prema spent all his free time with Essie and his 3 sons. He would take them out to see pleasant places and eat at the best eatery in Lagos, and bought them expensive toys. In short, all their whims were met. All this while, Seiye, the first son, was always forgotten and locked away at home. This made Seiye very unhappy. He cried most nights and wished his mother was alive. But well, since he could not turn back the hands of time, he simply accepted his fate. And for his education, Essie obviously was not interested in wasting her time to homeschool Seiye, while her own children attended some of the most prestigious schools in Lagos with dedicated drivers and security personnel to take them to school and back safely. Seiye, on his part, decided to homeschool himself. He studied the learning materials of his younger siblings and taught himself to read and write. Since he was always left at home, he devoted himself to read voraciously. Meanwhile, his brothers were not too interested in education. Since they had whatever they needed at the tip of their fingers, they saw education as too much stress and always bring their homework for Seiye to solve for them. And he was very glad to help them. Even though he was maltreated, he still loved his brothers regardless. But then, as the years went by, the children of Essie started growing up into little rogues. They were very rude to everyone and bullied their classmates in school, but no one dared complain. Even the school management was afraid of offending Perema because of his great influence. And just like so, 25 years went by and all the children were fully grown. But there was a problem. Because of the overpampering and the bad influence of Essie, her three children ended up becoming nuisance. They all dropped out of college and spent most of their days drinking and going out with different random women. They were not interested in working either, as they were to inherit a massive fortune of their father's wealth. Perema could not help but notice the errant attitude of his sons, and it dawned on him that he had made a terrible mistake. He had overpampered his sons. They were not even interested in learning the secret of his trade and moved his company to even greater heights when he was no more. They were more interested in spending lavishly and throwing big parties with their friends. This made Perema very unhappy. But even in Perema's sorrows, he could not help but notice something different about Seiye, his first child. Even though he was disabled, he had grown into a very bright young man, polite and respectful to everyone. He was the exact opposite of what Essie's children had become. And even though he had abandoned and paid minimal attention to him in all these years, Perema could not help but feel attracted to his personality, and a pang of guilt swept all over him. So one evening, he summoned him to his inner chambers. Seiye was surprised, wondering what could have led to the summon by his father.
My son, I had been a very poor father to you all these years. I had abandoned you because of your condition and focused my energy on raising your younger siblings. Your mother was a very good woman, and this was a wrong way to treat her only offspring. I'm so sorry for my actions, and I want to make amends.
He told him. Seiye was surprised. He could not believe these words were coming from his father's mouth. Well, Perema continued.
You had grown into a lovable young man, very bright and intelligent. I want to teach you the secret of my trade. Your brothers are too wayward and carefree and not ready to learn. I can't entrust this vast empire into their hands. They would ruin everything.
He told him, hitting the nail on the head. For a moment there was a loud silence. Then Seiye replied his father.
Papa, I know you had been avoiding me all these years because of my condition. I know you will see me as a curse and not worthy to be counted among your sons. But anyway, I had forgiven you all these years, including my stepmom. I love you all, and yes, I'm ready to learn the secrets of your trade and serve you.
He told him. Perema was very happy. He hugged his son and promised to be a good father to him. The very next day saw some changes in Perema's household. He ordered some of his house staff to move Seiye things from his room to a much bigger and well-furnished room in his big mansion. He also went shopping for him. He bought him very beautiful clothes so he will look presentable. All this while, Essie could not help but wonder what to have gotten into her husband. Why the sudden attraction to Seiye? She thought to herself. Anyway, she kept her thoughts to herself. The days that followed were some of the best days in the life of Seiye. Prema took him everywhere he went, introducing him to his business partner and associate, and to his pleasant surprise, they all welcomed him with open arms. Despite his condition, he was a lovable person and very polite, despite his father's great riches. Prema could not help but realize the extent of his falling. Anyway, he was happy to have been able to make amends, but their joy would be short-lived. Essie saw how Seiye was following Prema everywhere to assist him in his businesses. She knew the inheritance of her sons were at stake. Even though her sons were wayward and carefree, she just could not imagine them losing their fortune to Seiye when her husband was no more. She knew she had to do something and do it really quick. She thought of the best way to unalive Seiye, and after much thought, she resorted to her old trick one more time. I will unalive him the same way I unalive his miserable mother, she thought to herself, and with a smile across her face, she made preparation to pay a visit to the old native doctor at the outskirts of the city one more time. So here bring the first part of this story to a close. What do you think would be the fate of Seiye, the cripple child? Would Essie succeed with her evil plans? Watch out in the part 2 of this story. Thanks for watching today's episode from Anita Chocolate. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video. Please subscribe to this channel. It really gives me great joy when you join our family. Also type in where you are watching from so I can send you a special hug in the next episode. In the meantime, watch these other videos from this channel. Bye.